Welcome back, iCyber golfers. We are going to do some Rapsodo MLM2Pro course play for you all. I'm going to continue my series of trying to play my local courses, all of my local courses, on the MLM2Pro. I will caveat that with, if I do have a higher quality rendition of my local course available on another platform, GS Pro per se, then I'll play my local course on that platform, which I have done. If you go back and you look at my GS Pro playthrough list, you're going to see a local golf course here called The Wilderness, based in Lake Jackson, Texas. I've played that course on that course offering. However, I don't have very many other ones that are local to me that are in GS Pro. There are a few, for example, the Memorial Park Golf Course, that's in GS Pro, so I'll likely play that one in the GS Pro offering versus the Rapsodo MLM2Pro. So let's get started. We have Freeport Municipal loaded up here. We've selected it. We haven't loaded it yet. Just so you understand the parameters and where we're playing with, I am playing on my iPad Pro 13. I am playing it's an iPad Pro 13 with an M4 chip, to be specific. We are going to play from the white tees today. We are going to play all 18. We are hitting into a net, and it shows that the current graphics quality is set to high. If we start to see this thing skip or jump, we're going to drop it down to low just to complete the round in a seamless fashion. We're going to hit continue. We're going to turn terrain penalty on, and we're going to leave the automatic putting set to 10 foot and 40 foot so that it matches our simulator golf tour, it matches our GS Pro settings, and it also matches our SkyTrack settings. So we'll keep them all equal. We're going to start the round. So I am looking forward to playing this course. It is one of my local courses, so I do really enjoy playing it. I will tell you this about the Freeport golf course though. Let's go ahead and make sure we're all square and plumb before we get started. So the ball is in the center. Still looks good to me. Let's go ahead and hit continue. Hopefully we're still level. We are. And we just need to make sure that this is back. Actually, yeah, we want to make sure this is slightly behind, back in the hitting box. That should be in the zone. So now I know visually where I should be. I'll just roll this little green hitting stick back to indicate where that ball should be in terms of the hitting zone. So now I'm lined up just behind my blue crosshair here, and I'm lined up pretty much straight with the blue line. In fact, it's going to be more this direction. That's going to be dead center, which is dead center with the blue tape. So we're all square and plumb. Let's start this session. So this opening hole is a really fun hole. The drive into the... So basically, when you come into this facility, the road coming in is going to be on your right-hand side. There are some houses there. There are, I want to say maybe one or two little houses, barns, or trailers. I can't remember. There's somebody's yard you can basically hit into if you slice it severely. So it's something you want to keep into account when you drive this hole. These greens, the fairways, are generally pretty firm. It's just because of where it's positioned. It's on the Gulf Coast. It is literally like a mile or so max from the beach. So, and I mean like the Surfside Beach, the Quintana Beach. Those beaches are literally about a mile away from this facility. So there's a lot of just moisture, but the fairways, they're basically in the sun. They're baking pretty much 365 days out of the year. The greens at this facility, they do take care of the greens here. They're manicured, they're soft, they're spongy. So as long as you keep it in the fairway and you're attacking the greens, you're going to have a good day. There is a lot of narrow holes here in terms of they're lengthy and they're narrow. So your drive has to be on, or you have to play it strategically, meaning take an iron instead of a driver so you end up in the fairway, and so on and so forth. The back nine, your very first couple of holes, they run along I want to say it's either a channel or a bayou, could be a little river, canal, something like that. And the wind off of the Gulf of Mexico, it really comes into play depending on what time of day you're playing at. So that wind could be blowing dramatically from left to right, It could be blowing from right to left. It could be blowing in your face. The point is you don't know what kind of day you're going to have until you make that turn, and then Mother Nature decides what she's going to do with you that day. So let's go ahead and get started. Enough jabba-whopping, right, guys? Let's hit this map. Let's put our aim point out there. I say we go ahead and just see what the 3-wood's going to look like right off the bat. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to select 3-wood, and I am going to do my best to make sure I select the right clubs for this playthrough. Another thing I'm going to do, which I've traditionally done when I play these courses, is every hole that I line up on, I'm going to put a little screenshot over to the right beside the map that's going to show the GPS, 18 Birdies GPS view of this same hole. It's going to show you more of the foliage, more of the obstructions that are possibly in the way that you can't really see in the MLM2Pro courseware. The MLM2Pro courseware does an exceptional job catching, again, the shape of the hole that you're playing, the bunkers, any of the hazards, if they're part of the actual hole, it captures those pretty well. However, it has to sacrifice somewhere because it is primarily designed to run on mobile, and where it sacrifices is all the surrounding ambient stuff. So that's not what it looks like. You don't see hills at Freeport like this. You don't see these types of trees, but you do see the waterways. The waterways that you see there, they are true. So let's get this started. Have not hit one single 3-wood today. So we're gonna see what happens here with this first 3-wood. Hopefully we start off on a good note. All right, let's go. 3-wood off of hole number 1. By the way, this is a par 4, 349 yards. This is a fun opener, especially when you have about 7 or 8 people in carts lined up behind you and you have to hit. A little nerve-wracking. Hit that low. And we're actually going to take that, and I would walk off of this like nobody's business because it's in the middle of the fairway and it's down there. And it would not have mattered that it only got, I don't know, a few feet off the ground. I would have probably turned around and told them I played that by design to keep it out of the wind. But we're not in somebody's yard. We're not off severely to the right or the left. We're in the center of the fairway, exactly where we want to be. So for shot number 2, we are going to probably take a 6-iron at it just to see if we can get the distance and see if we can get it onto the green. Going to go ahead and hit this marker. Going to aim my shot more over to the right just because in our warm-up, in our driving range session, we were pulling these shots. I did kind of fix it by opening my club face open, but I want all the distance out of this, so I chose the 6-iron. I'm going to put this in line where it needs to be. Going to try to hit somewhat of a draw. I've re-aimed my positioning so I can stay square. Just try to hit a regular shot because I've turned my alignment to the right. Let's just see if this works out for me. 6-iron. Hopefully with some draw. It's a good 6-iron. Let's see if we got the draw. We got the draw cutting slightly. Looks like we're going to be beside this tree, and I'm not sure if there's a tree there or not. I think there is in real life. So now we're in a position to chip. That was a really well executed 6-iron, by the way. And we're in a spot to pull out that Vokey, the 58 degree. So let's go ahead and choose that Vokey. Let's change that club here in our courseware. Which, by the way, I did get my Vokey regripped. It now matches all of my other irons. I use the Golf Pride Jumbo grips. I like them because they're rubbery and tacky, so when your hands do start to get a little bit moist, they're easier to grip than the leathery ones that kind of get slippery. So that was a recommendation when I first bought my TaylorMade QI irons about a year and a half ago. The person who helped me get fitted for those, I said I really want jumbo grips because my hands, I can't really hit with the regular ones. He recommended these, and ever since then, that's what I've been choosing. So when I get them regripped, I'm going to use the same type of gripping for them. So enough jabba-whopping. Let's see if we can get this this chip 17 yards. See what happens here on the first chip of the day. We bladed it, and it's going to run all the way across that if it read it. And we deserve that because we were just talking so much. So I'm going to leave it there. That's my mistake. I didn't hit down on the ball. That will get better. Now we have 15 yards from the other side. That will get better though as we warm up. We start to dial in these chips. 15 yards, looking to just drop it in there if we can. That's a good little chip. Hopefully we're going to be in that circle. And we're just beyond it. The run out here that I've always told you guys about with the Rapsodo software is it's really hard to determine the grain, really hard to determine how fast they're going to be. So we don't find that out till about, I don't know, maybe 3 to 5 holes after we played them. Then we start to dial those in. So we're going to start off with a double bogey right off the bat. Traditionally, this hole I will par it, and I'm not just trying to toot my own horn, but I generally play this one pretty relaxed. I usually take an iron off the tee box, and then I make a really good approach. Again, just want to try to play how I would normally play this course. I'm going to go ahead and see what we got here. I think we're good for a 3-wood here. Yeah, we'll be good taking a 3-wood. This is an interesting course. It is out of bounds on the right-hand side. So if you do hit it and it does fade, it goes out of bounds and you cannot get it. What's really interesting about this golf course is these waterways. That big lake that you see at the bottom, that right there is nerve-wracking because they have these really big alligators that are in that lake. So anytime you hit it anywhere near the lakeside, the bed, you're going to see, first of all, you're going to glance. You're going to see if you see any eyeballs. You're going to see if you see any, alligators out there. And then you're going to make a shot that's usually going to be rushed because you're ready to just hit it and get away from there. So they have some pretty massive alligators in that lake. All right, that's good enough. So let's aim on that line. Let's take this, change this. Okay, let's go ahead and change this to 3-wood. And let's take this shot. So that's something interesting about this golf course. They do have some alligators in these lakes. The front 9 is what has where you're going to go around this water. The back 9, you're not going to be near these lakes. 3-wood. Hit it a little bit thin, but on a great line. We still got the cut. And that's just because I'm not warm yet, so I'm not getting the full extension off of my 3-wood just yet. But I'm catching it thin. But again, it's not severe. I'm in the fairway. So I can certainly live with that. Still 184 yards out, so, wasn't optimal because I didn't catch all of it, but at least I'm down there. And I don't know if this is a par. It's a par 4, yeah. It's a pretty lengthy par 4. So we're going to need to do something about this. I think we're going to play smart because I don't think we're going to go for this. You do have to hit over water. I say that. I think we can go for this and be okay. Just got to make better contact with a 5-iron. And then we'll see where we're at. So we're going to choose a 5-iron here. We're going to hit it on that line. In fact, we're going to hit it more to the center because, again, I don't know what my 5-iron is going to do just yet. And if it does go out slightly to the right, I'd rather that happen. If I happen to pull this shot, then that's going to be in the water. So we're going to go ahead and take this shot with the 5-iron. See how our 5-iron is going to behave today. It's a great 5-iron. That's perfectly executed. I am happy with that shot. So we landed on, and that's going to give us a par. More importantly, that was some pretty pure contact with the 5-iron. So very happy with that shot. Alrighty, where are we going here? Hole number 4 is a par 4. Looks like it's taken a bit to get this loaded up. All right, this is that hole that I was talking about where you're going to hit it first, you're going to hit it down there, then you're going to have to make an approach over the water, and this is where our boys like to swim around. I don't know how many alligators there are in this lake, but I know there's one big one that, he looks pretty menacing. So again, we're going to stick with our strategy. Because of the distance and the length of this course, we do need to get it down there as far as we can. The thing that makes this challenging, though, you guys can see it, is there's water. There's water all around this place. So if your woods or your drivers are not working, it's gonna be a long day for you. especially because there is water and there is alligators. You're going to be just nervous the entire time. So again, let's see if we can make good contact with this. Our last 2 drives we got away with. Eventually, we're not going to be able to get away with them. We're going to have to make better contact. All right, 3 wood. Let me switch that back. I'm over here getting excited. 3 wood. We're looking to go, hopefully if we can run this out 200 yards, that would be great. Oh, that's going to go out to the right. I saw it hit the net on the right-hand side. The good news is we were able to save it somewhat, but that would make me nervous because those busters would be right there. Right there. I would be just nervously hitting my next shot 161 yards. I'm going to take a 7-iron to this because that is my 7-iron is my 160-yard club. Let's go ahead and check that. Let's go ahead and change it. If I can get into the normal cadence of coming over here and selecting it, then I think we'll be okay. Going to aim it slightly this direction. And again, want to just get it onto the green. That's the objective. Secondary would be, you know, leaving it a little bit lengthy on the backside and chipping back. So let's go. 7-iron, 160 yards is what we're looking for. That's out to the right. I did see that. I felt it. I aimed that way slightly, but again, I'll be safe because we're going to be basically almost pin high, chipping on from there. And I would be okay with that. That would be an okay shot. I think I played it a little bit more thinking I was going to be pulling that shot, and it seems to have straightened out. So nice so far. Let's go ahead and change this to our Vokey. And let's see if we can get this Vokey dialed in. 17 yards is what we're looking for. Get this in the optimal zone. Nice little bump. Get it up there, let it run. We want to hit down on this. That's the problem with the first one. I bladed it. Oh, I picked up my hand, so that's going to go kind of far. Yeah, I made the same mistake. Good news is it stayed on, but I made the same mistake. I did not hit down into the mat. I lifted up at the last second, and I caught it. I caught it too, basically bladed it. So we gave one up there. That should have been a par. We did everything right. We just did not make the chip. And again, those will get better as I warm up a little more. Might follow up this playthrough session with a awesome golf round. Again, that is some software that I really enjoy playing. It's just fun. 130 yards is a par 3. We're going to go ahead and select our 9-iron. 9-iron is our 130-yard club. Again, we're going to aim slightly over this direction, anticipating the pool, and then we're going to just hit the shot. So we've got 9-iron selected. This is another nervous one if you don't hit it over. What you can't see here is there is a lot of brush in front of this. So it's hard to actually see the hole from the tee box. You're just hitting, it's not necessarily blind, but it is difficult to see the surface of the of this particular hole because there is, again, native plants that grow right around this area. And just a perfect place too for our busters to be hanging out. All right, 130 yards, what we're looking for. And a little thin and out to the right. Did feel that. This, yeah, didn't catch it pure. Again, I expect that to get better as we warm up some more. My objective, as always, is to try to shoot plus 10 or under. We are playing from the white tees. I traditionally play from silver when I'm using SkyTrack software. So again, we're putting a little more challenge on ourselves by playing from the white tees. But again, we got to get better, right? That's what we got to do. All right, let's get this chip once and for all. Haven't made a good one yet. Let's see if we can get this one. Got to hit down into the mat. That's the goal. Down and through. There we go. We got it. Nice chip. Again, didn't really get the read right, but that's going to slowly come with some cycles. It's going to 2-putt us, I believe. That's going to be our 3rd shot. So that's going to be 4-5, I believe. It's going to give us a bogey. So we really need to start capitalizing. Sorry, it's a par 3. So that gave us a +1. So certainly going the wrong direction. Again, you see the water. Where there's water, there's the potential for animals. I'll just put it that way. This is a nice hole here too. I mean, You basically open up your driver if you have the driver. If you don't, then you certainly want to position yourself for a good approach over that water. It's further down there. We're going to take the 3-wood and we're going to really try to hit that, dial it in. Okay, let's go. 3-wood. This is the 5th hole, 333 yards. Looking for that nice position here in the fairway. Haven't made pure contact yet with the 3-wood. It's a little better on a straight line. I caught the mat before it and that caused it to actually turn. The good news is we're going to be safe. The bad news is that would make me nervous because you see that water line. That's where those friendly neighborhood gators kind of sit. So we're near the cart path, but we have a manageable shot here. We're in the rough, so that's going to put some penalty on it because we have live penalty on. 148 up to, that's basically 150. We do need to carry it there the whole way. That's the thing, because we're hitting onto an island. If you kind of see, it's pretty much a peninsula, but I mean, there's water all around it. So you need to stick the landing, so to speak. I want to take an 8-iron because that's my 150-yard club. I don't know if the live penalty is going to penalize me that much, though. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take the 8-iron. I am going to aim it this direction slightly. And I am going to change my club while I'm here. Pick the 8-iron. And we're going to try to reach that 150-yard mark with this shot, which should get us at least onto the island. That's what we're trying to do, get onto the island. I'm okay if I'm short, just don't want to be too short where I'm in that water. 8-iron. Hit it thin, which is going to kill some of the distance. And I just got lucky with the hop. The good news is I had enough on it to roll it up there and save par. I believe if I had caught that pure, I would be closer to that pin position with that shot. So again, take the victory of we hit it on line, we got it there, and we got a par. Okay, moving right along through this golf course. Again, the one amazing thing about playing this simulator golf is I can basically play 18 holes with auto putt turned on in about 35 minutes. That you can't do that in the real world. It's 4 hours usually. And that's assuming you know that it's moving along. Okay, we're going to take this one. This is a pretty nice hole right here. Runs along the fence line in the back. Just a lengthy par 5. The trick here is you want to keep it away from the out of bounds, right? Because if you don't, you're going to be in a world of hurt. We're going to start off with the 3-wood on that line. See if we can get it down there in the middle. Still have not made good contact with the 3-wood yet, so looking for that to start dialing in, so we can start scoring possibly. Maybe with back 9 we'll be ready. 3-wood. There we go. So just as you, okay, pulled it across my body. It's gonna be okay. I mean, I'm gonna be out here on this side, gonna be in the rough, but it's gonna be okay. More importantly, we got contact on that one. So we got the 210 out of it. I'm gonna take another 3-wood at it, and then we're gonna attack it. I say that, but let's see where we need to end up strategically. 170 is basically would leave us. Yeah, we're going to go with the 170 approach. So we're going to take a 6-iron, try to get it that 170 yards, and then that's going to leave us potentially a pitching wedge or a 9-iron into the green from there. So here we go. We are lined up, ready to hit this 6-iron, which again, we flushed this one earlier, so let's see if we can maintain that. Flush it again. All right, here we go, 6-iron. Would love to see 170 yards out of this. Would love pure contact. Wasn't too bad. I did whip across it. Yep, that's exactly what I felt with the club. I'm going to go back and look at the replay for you all so you can see what I felt. I felt like I came across it and my club twisted. Let's go confirm that, which again, one of the amazing parts about the MLM. I caught it with my heel actually. Yeah, so I was too close to the ball. That's what the problem was. So I thought it was one thing and it was actually another. Let's look at it one more time. I caught it with the heel. You can see that I hit it with the heel and it did cause my club to twist. Okay, again, that's logic. That's what happened. We're gonna take a 7-iron now, try to hit it more pure. See if we can land it up there. One of the amazing things about the MLM2Pro. So I complain about a few things, but I will certainly tout it for the amazing things that it does have in terms of training tools. And that is one, basically correlating what you felt into why it happened visually. You see it. All right, that means I got to line up with the ball more near the toe so that when I follow through, I'm actually following through, hitting it square. That's the goal. So let's see if we can catch this 7-iron pure. That's what we just did. And we put some draw on it. Exactly. We turned that club. See if we hit our number. We did. We hit our number. That is perfect. I'm going to look at that replay just to show you guys what I was talking about. It's not going to let me. When it finishes the hole like that, you don't get a chance. If I wanted to show you that, I have to show you that after the round is over and go back to this particular shot. But I did make the adjustment on that hole. I basically lined my club up where the toe was kind of in the center of the ball. So when I do my in to out swing and I square it up, my club slides forward a little bit and that's what catches it in the center. So that's exactly what we did to fix that shot. All right, we are on the 7th hole. Yeah, I still think we need to take the 3-wood at it. I still think we get better positioning in this golf course if we can get it down there. So we're going to take the 3-wood. We're going to try to get this distance. More importantly, we've made some pure contact with the 3-wood so far a couple of times. So let's see if we can do it again. 3-wood. That's going to be out to the right. Just slightly. But again, all the distance. We hit our marker that we placed out there. That's what you see right there. Perfect, all the way around. So we're in the fairway at about 200 yards, 160 is left. We just hit 160-yard 7-iron. So this is where you start to piece together your round. What are your clubs doing in the real world? And I mean, while you're playing this course, are you hitting your distances? And if you are, then you have the formula for success. We'll aim slightly over to the right. And if I open the club face up too much and it bleeds out, then I'm going to aim more to the center next time. All right, but for now, we're going to aim it out to the right, thinking that we're going to pull this shot with the inside to out swing. So again, I'm going to line it up in the center. My face, the club face is basically the toe is lined up with the center. So when I take my backswing inside, it's going to go all the way in this angle. When I come through, it's going to square up in the center. That's what I hope for it to do. So let's go. 7-iron. Again, that's the same shot I just hit. That is the same shot I just hit. I got the same result. And we are on the green. Perfect. So that's another par. Again, that's a par because our 3-wood allowed us, it got us far enough down there so that we could make that approach. And that's what's critical and key for success on this golf course. Is you have to get your drives down there so that you can manage those approaches into the green. All right, here's a par 3, a nice little par 3. Again, there's water off to the left, so our little boys are out there swimming around, just anxiously awaiting for someone to veer off close to them. This is a 160-yard shot. I think it's our same club. I mean, honestly, I think we just take the, what does the front of that look like? 149, 150. We could take an 8-iron at it. In fact, just so we can get some cycles with the 8-iron, we're going to take an 8-iron at it. We're going to try to land it up at the front at that 150, just like that, and see if that's the right club for this hole. So we got the 8-iron loaded up. We already are aligned on what we need to be doing. Now we just need to hit this 8-iron pure. So let's go 8-iron into this green. This is a par 3, 158 yards. It's a great 8-iron. I think I pulled it across my body more than I thought. But the good news is, again, I laid up, I chose a club under that was probably just one club too less than I needed, and that's what left me underneath the hole. So I want to go ahead and chip now. I didn't do this by design. I thought I would be able to get my 8-iron there, so this was not by design. But I'd rather be underneath the hole than to be beyond it in that bunker, so that's what I went with in terms of logic. Again, let's see if we can get this in the air and get it to that one putt circle. At least one of them. We haven't done one yet. Felt like a good chip. Oh, there's a downslope there. Wow. Did not see that, guys. Okay, that was my bad. And I don't know this green that well to have remembered that. So that was a mistake. I thought that was going to be a good chip. And had it been flat, that probably would have been perfect. Again, just not really knowing, not being able to see that. That's my gripe. From a SkyTrack or the GS Pro, when you're standing off to the edge, you can see that type of run. You can see all that stuff visually. So if Rapsodo would just add that to this, I think that would just go miles for MLM2Pro users. And I do know they have some software coming out that's going to be on the PC, so I imagine that's going to have all the bells and whistles that we've been looking for. I did not change my club to the Vokey on the last one, so I'll have to make that modification, which I can do pretty much after the fact. That's one good thing, is I can go back and review my round, and I could adjust the club that I was supposed to, or I would have hit. All right, here we go. So 3-wood, see if we can get it down there. Again, in the playthroughs, when I go back and edit this, I will show you the actual overhead view from 18 birdies of this hole, so you can kind of fill in all the blanks that are not visually presented to you here in this representation. All right, 3-wood. Solid 3-wood, and we're starting to slow our speed down. Came across it, but we should be okay. We're going to be in the rough, but I'm happy with that contact. Again, you guys have maybe noticed that my fade is not as severe as probably 3 months ago. It's less dramatic, and I do get that consistent distance out of it. So let's see if we're going to go with the 3-wood again. We may have to, just to get us distance. And I think we do, because even if we do get it, 180 yards, that's still going to leave us quite a bit in. This is a par 5. This is an opportunity to score. Let's just see if we can replicate that same swing. We slowed it down and followed through. 3-wood. There we go. I think we're starting to slowly dial it in. That one I came across that one more. But we got our 200 yards out of it, and I felt that. I did come across it. So that's an accurate representation of that shot. But I hit it square. That's why it went that far. All right, this is out of the rough. This is going to be 9-iron territory. So we're going to bank on the 9-iron giving us that lie penalty. That's what we're going to bank on. And we're going to hit a 9 into this. So let's go ahead and grab our 9-iron. Let's change it in the software. Aim just a little, just a tick or two this direction. And we're really relying on the penalty that's going to take the distance off of this club. The thing is, I think I'm in the fairway, actually. I think this is a pitching wedge. If you see, it says I'm on the tee, is what it says. 100%, 100%. So I might actually be in the fairway. I might be on a tee box on the other side, is what that might mean. So I'm going to change that. Just because I saw that at the last minute, it does tell you the penalty if there's one that's going to be enforced. So I'm going to change that to a pitching wedge, just based off of that information that I just saw. So we're not going to change anything else other than that. This can go 120 yards. So that's what we're banking on, a good pitching wedge to go 120 yards. Just like that. That was a great pitching wedge. That's a great pitching wedge on a great line. And we got it there. I told you to go 120 yards. There it is, 120. Very happy with that. Very happy that I don't have to chip. But again, I'm glad I saw that. Otherwise, that would have been a 130-yard shot. That would have been over the green, and I would be chipping. So it looks like we got a 41 on the front side. Again, it's a par 71. So we managed to kind of slow the pace down a little bit, get some pars, reduce some of the bleeding from the bogeys. Here's the turn. This is the one that I'm talking about. So that little canal, that waterway right there, there is generally a breeze that comes off of that. So we're gonna take the 3-wood. I would take the 3-wood in real life and I would aim it. I would actually aim it over here because of the breeze. The breeze would blow it back this direction for me. I'm not gonna do that here because I don't think I have wind on. So I'm gonna make my normal shot and I'm gonna try not to pull it, because if I pull it, it's gonna be in the water. So I do want some fade off of this if possible, or I wanna hit it straight on that line. So let's see if we're synchronized in a little more now after we've had a few good swings with the 3-wood. Here we go, 3-wood off the what is this, the 10th hole? Yeah, par 4. That's a solid 3-wood. It's gonna be a low burner, but I would take that because it would run on this golf course. This golf course, that fairway would be dry, firm, and this thing would roll. I mean, it easily probably could have rolled 220 yards on real conditions with that type of shot. Okay, that's 188. It's up 63 feet. So that's a 200-yard shot. We're gonna take another 3-wood at it. Just try to make better contact and see if we can get it there. What I'm banking on is that elevation does calculate into this like it does with GS Pro and SkyTrack. So this is more of a 200+ yard shot with that elevation. So I'm hitting up at this point. 3-wood. Solid 3-wood down the center of my hitting net, and that is a straight shot on a line. It died, and that's okay. I am more happy that I got that pure contact with that 3-wood. That's my bonus right there. That's the bonus of that shot. Didn't get it on the green, but I'll take this 20 yards. And you can see this, you can actually see some slope on this, but it just doesn't show the beads. But you can see how it does kind of go from the left to the right, and it falls forward. So we certainly want to be on the left-hand side, and we do want to fly it there and see if we can roll it in. So again, looking for a really nice, I haven't gotten a good chip yet, so maybe this is going to be the one. I still didn't get in the gimme circle, so that's going to be a bogey. But I was happy with the way that hole manifested from the 2 drives, or the drive, the 3-wood right next to it. And honestly, that chip right there, just got to dial the chipping in on Rapsodo software. I don't have this same problem on the GS Pro or SkyTrack. I just don't. Okay, 242. Going to take the same club. You're going to get the same conditions off of this hole, which is you're going to get a breeze from the left-hand side. That's just going to be normal for this. So we're going to aim it this way. We're going to try to make that pure contact that we just made. And I forgot to change my chipping on the other one, so I'll have to fix that. Again, looking for that same shot shape we just hit. And I mean with that approach, not with the drive. So again, I feel like the shoulders are loosening up a little bit. Let's see if we can get a pure contact with this 3-wood. Yep, we hit the mat. That might cause some, yep, that's going to be a problem. That's going to be in the water. And we are going to take that penalty because that's exactly what we did. We deserve that. So we're going to take a drop right there. We're going to leave it be. That was our problem. I hit it fat, and the end result was a shot that went across my body. It was a pull. It ended up being a pull. And I'd be in that water, and that would be just all there is to it. So this is our 3rd shot now on a par 4. Yeah, so we either got to get it there, or we're going to be running the number up here on this one. Let's see if we can make pure contact now. And we hit that one low. The good news is that the Rapsodo did not read it. That's the good news. And it's sad that I'm happy that that's the good news. Just need to make a better contact. There we go. That is a straight shot, and that's the way that you follow up. Would have wanted more run out of that, but again, at this point, I gotta just eat what I served myself there, which was I hit it in the water. Then the best I can do here would be to chip it in the one putt, finally chip it in the one putt, and then walk away here with just a bogey. That would be the best case. Otherwise, it's going to be a double, and we're going to be at +8, and that's not going to be good. Felt like a good chip on a great line. Did I get one in there for finally? I did. Finally got one in there. So we saved a bogey. So now we're at +7. But I think we learned some things there in the process, meaning we got the weight of that chip just right. So that's a positive. We had a good second shot with the 3-wood. That's a positive. Now we can capitalize and then build off of that momentum. That's the goal, at least. We just made the turn too, and we're at +7. So this is going to get a little tight here, trying to keep this score down. Again, I purposefully put that on me to try to shoot a specific score, and I still forgot to change to the Vokey. So gonna have to fix those in the review session, but easy enough to do. Especially when I go edit it, it's easy for me to do in the software. All right, here we go. 3-wood. Let's make that shot we just made a second ago and move on. This is a par 4. Yeah, a bunch of par 4s. So scoring, it's really difficult. Solid 3-wood. We cleared that little cut. We are in the fairway. 188 yards. I will take that every single time. 187 is what we have left. I know I just made that shot, so I might be taking that 3-wood. Yeah, I'm going to take the 3-wood back at it. See if we can replicate that same swing. And see if we can finish this off on the green. So we are purposefully aiming slightly to the left. Don't want to chunk it. Want to catch it pure. Let's go. 3-wood. It's a low burner, but it is a good line. Yeah. I'm telling you right now, that 3-wood would not have stuck on that green at that rate of speed. So that's 1 for the physics on that one, because they went in our favor. Which is ironic, because it seems like my chips would have easily rolled off, but that 3-wood coming in hot, for some reason it didn't. I'm gonna take my victory as a par. That was a really great 3-wood. So take what you can get. Let me confirm that we're even recording this. I think we are. Yeah, we're recording the audio portion. I've done that before, where I do a whole session and just jabber-wopping into a mic that's not picking up. Par 5, finally a chance to score here. This is an interesting one. So on the left-hand side is a pasture. There's a tree line. I'm sorry, there's a tree line there, and there's barbed wire. So if you hit it beyond that cart path into that open area, you're not going to get it back. You can't walk over there. There's power lines, I think, that go above that. So there's a bunch of variables there. You don't want to be on that side. Likewise, on the left-hand side, the right-hand side, there's a little bit of a canal there. So we're not in trouble of reaching that on our first shot, but we would be in trouble of possibly putting it that direction on our second shot. So really want to be in the fairway here with this shot. Let me push this back. Really want to be in the fairway. Really want to blast it down there. Again, we haven't changed the 3-wood in 3 shots, so let's see if we can get this one down there. Solid 3-wood. Slowly starting to get the synchronization in. More importantly, we're in the middle of the fairway. And there's an upslope there. I don't know that it's that dramatic. Next time I play this, I'm going to see if it's that dramatic. So I think we're going to hit a second 3-wood at it. Again, if we can keep it manageable. This is an extremely straight shot. That's the thing, is you do have to keep it in the fairway. This second shot is the one that has the potential to get away from you if you don't hit it flush. All right, 3-wood, second shot, par 5. Blistered it on a great line. Little bit of cut, but I think we're gonna be okay. Don't get tucked behind the tree. Think we'll be okay. We probably can see the pin from there. If not, it's gonna be our opportunity to play one of those shots. We're good, we're good. 150. Are we in the rough? We are in the rough. So we're gonna be penalized by 10% for speed, and we're only gonna get 80% of spin. So what that translates to is some penalty on our shot. Since 150 is our 8-iron, I think we go ahead and hit it, because I think we'd rather be in front of the pin, in front of it. Actually, we might want to be beyond it, because that bunker could come into play. We're going to go ahead and hit the 8-iron. We're going to hit our 8-iron club. I'm sorry, our 150-yard club. And if we land short, we land short. Just do not want to land in that bunker. So let's see if we catch it pure. And let's see. All right. 8-iron, looking for a pure shot with this 8-iron. I'm going to put some draw on it to try to get all the distance out of it. Hit it thin, but on a good line. That is straight. And there's our penalty from distance, and that's why we're underneath the hole. I'm happy with that, because we hit our target line of being underneath the hole, and we hit it straight. So now let's just finish this off with a Vokey. Let me go check. Let me go change that. Vokey, 14 yards. We just had a decent chip a second ago. We are in the rough, just on the edge, so might come into play. Nice little chip's all we're looking for. That felt good. Let's see if we got it there. Did we hold it out? I think we hold it out. Did we hold it out? We might have got a bird. Nice. There we go. These physics are amazing on the chipping. Oh, when they give you one, you take it, right? When they take it away, you complain about it. That was excellent. That felt like the right weight anyway, so I'll take that. I'll take that as a victory. That was a really good, well-weighted chip. All right, what do we have here? The 14th hole. More importantly, we did get one back. So we're going to keep that momentum going with the 3-wood. Try to put it on a rope. Select 3-wood. Right there would leave us 120, which we know 120 is a pitching wedge if we can hit this distance. So we're looking to hit this distance off the drive, put it in the center, and then go from there. 3-wood. Good 3-wood on a great line. Nice little cut coming back. Get some run out. Didn't get as much as I thought. Okay, so we're not going to get that 212. So we'll have a more lengthy approach in. 144 down to 140. Do you still think that's going to be it's going to be an 8-iron to get to the back? We'll go ahead and take the 8-iron at it. We'll take the 8. We'll try to hit this 8 pure. We haven't made good contact with the 8 yet. So I think we're due to make some really good contact with an 8-iron and just capitalize. I'm okay if we hit beyond it on this particular hole. We can chip back this direction, but we want to clear all that water in the front. Or it's not even really in play if we hit this true. Okay, again, looking for a nice contact here with this 8-iron. Let's go, 8-iron into the green. A little thin, but I'm happy with the line, I believe. Yeah, that's a good line. And we're beyond, just slightly. So had that been on line, that was the exact club we needed. I'm just catching a little thin, so I need to scoot up slightly, so I'm a little too far back, so maybe just a little half a step in. That's gonna put me square. 15 yards, let's do this. Let's drop this in with the Vokey. Let's change this in the club selection. Here we go. Vokey selected. Now let's just dial this in. We just chipped one in from about this distance. So we know the formula for success here. Let's just get that nice little chip. Get it in. Felt good. Up in the air. That should land softly. We're just dialing it in now, aren't we? That's a gimme for a par. Doable. That's doable. Happy with that. Again, we're turning it up a little bit here on the back nine to try to conserve our score of plus 10 or under. Had a little bit of a run at it at the beginning with the bogeys getting out of hand. So we're going to the 15th hole. Looks like it's a par 3. 127 yards. That's right up our alley for a 9-iron. So let's go ahead and select the 9-iron from the software. We're going to leave it in the center. Let's just leave it in the center and let's just see if that's what we need. Just leave it right there in the middle and just hit a great shot. That's all we need to do. Leave it in the middle and hit a great shot. Maybe keep the club face open slightly so that it does catch a little fade, take some of the distance off. That's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to change anything else. And we hit it with a little fade. That's going to cut back towards the pin. Going to kill some of the distance. And we got into the circle for par. So all of that worked in my favor. I mean, I caught it pure. I did take some of the distance off. Got our 118 out of it. So win-win in my opinion. More importantly, I hit the shot that I wanted to hit. I purposefully wanted to hit a slight fade into it to kill the distance. And we did. So I'll take that victory. More importantly, we're keeping the score static. We're not adding to it. So that's what we need. I think we're going into the 16th hole. Yeah, going into 16th, a par 4. Likely going to require a 3-wood. Likely going to require it to be in the fairway. Let's just see here. Yeah, we're going to need this. So exactly where it's at, there's no way I can reach that. So we're going to actually be somewhere down here. Good news is this is a pretty open fairway. I mean, that's fine if we can hit that line. We're really looking to go 200 plus yards if we can. But again, haven't really struck it pure enough to get that distance out of this club just yet, not today. Maybe this is the one. More importantly, as long as it's in the fairway, I'm happy. All right, 3-wood. Solid 3-wood. It's going to go out to the right, I believe, slightly. Yeah, but that's on a great line. That's on a great line, right down the center of the fairway. Did we finally get our 200 yards? We finally got 200 yards out of this. So there we go, 209, 202 carry. That felt all of that. 158 down one, that's 157. I think that's going to end up being a 7-iron. 7-iron is my 160-yard club. I'm not going to do anything. Just going to change the club. Going to leave it where it's at and hit this shot pure. Going to make this approach into this green, into this pin position with this 7-iron. Solid 7-iron. Did pull it across my body, so I felt like it's going to go. Yep, I felt that, all of that. Got my distance, but I felt it. Should have opened my club face open. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, but I'm happy that we're down there. Now we have a chance to chip it over. This will be challenging at 29 yards with this bogey, so we're going to have to put some emphasis on it to get it there, which always can lead to a mishit shot. But not us. We're dialed in now, aren't we? Let's change bogey in the selection. We are dialed in now, so we're gonna make this happen. We're gonna get it there. Nice little chip. That's what we're looking for. Want to fly it in the air, if possible. All right, Vokey, let's go. Felt like a good chip. Let's see if we got it there. Sit down. I mean, I'm happy with that. Did it stay on? Hopefully it stayed on to 2-putt. It's not gonna make me chip again. That was a 29-yard carry, so got a little bit excited there. But again, I chipped it, got it onto the green. Gotta just live with that. That's okay. Got a bogey, but again, we erased one earlier. It got it back, so that kind of just washed itself out. Going into the 17th, par 3. This is a lengthy par 3. 167 yards. Man, that has 7 iron written all over it. Really? Yeah, that has 7 iron written all over it. So, man, I don't know. I mean, 6 iron might be the call here. I think I hit the 7 and I just try to hit it pure. That's what we're going to do. We're going to hit the 7. We're going to try to catch it pure. We're going to catch this pure 7 iron and we're going to get it there. We're going to try to fly this 160. That's what our goal is. Fly at 160. Let's aim it out to the physically with our body out to the right. Play that draw so we can get all the distance out of this. That's a solid 7 on a great line with all the distance we needed. Did we land it in the green? Is it going to stay up? I think it's in the circle. I think it's on the green, and I think we're good for par. We got our 170 out of that club. Carried it 160 just like we needed. So I think that slight adjustment, opening, finishing with the draw, catching it pure, that's what got us there, guys. Got to have confidence in your clubs. If you know what they're supposed to do and you hit them like they're supposed to be hit. Alrighty, let's finish this out on the 18th hole. All right, let's go. We're going to leave it there. Sorry, we're going to pull this back slightly. That should be okay. Going to change that to a 3-wood. We need one more good 3-wood here. The thing that's intimidating about this shot is you can run it. If you can run it all the way down there to the edge, that's amazing. You have to hit it over water, and immediately behind this is the parking lot and the clubhouse. So all the anxiety factors they're there on this finishing hole. They are there to just mess with you. So this is a really good finishing hole. It does require some strategy. It requires some skill. Let's see if we have all of that here or not. 200 yards would be great off of this drive. And we topped it. And we're gonna have to just live with that. In fact, I am not. I am going to take a mulligan on that. I rarely do that, but I've just been executing this game really well, and I just feel like I can hit a better shot. So let's hit a better shot. There's my one mulligan for today. Let's hit a better shot, guys. I was really trying to kill that rather than slow my tempo down and make pure contact. Slow the tempo down and make pure contact. That's the objective. Don't smash it. There's no reason. Slow it down. When you do that, you see how easy that looked? That felt. Now I'm going to be over here near this tree. As long as I clear it, I'll be okay, which I did. Cart path is on this side. 200 yards. I'm going to have to live with that. But again, I slowed the tempo down, followed through. That allowed everything to kind of resynchronize, and we're good to go. Now, under these circumstances, I don't think I would go for it in the real world, just because that water would come into, it would basically get into my head that I have to clear that water. So I don't think I would actually go for this in the real world. I'm not in the real world. I'm in the virtual world. That's what this is for. I'm going to take a 6-iron at it on this line, and I am going to go for it. So again, just trying to get the cycles here in the sim world. Okay, I'm going to rethink this. Here's why. I'm in the rough. It's going to take 75% of the spin off and 65% of the, 75% of the speed and 65% of the spin. This is a 177 yard club, but it can only go 160 in the air. I can't get it there. Since this is a par 4, I'm going to play a strategy that makes more sense for me. So I'm going to try to leave myself 100 yards in. That's what I'm going to try to do. So we are going to hit a sand wedge first. Try to get that distance from a sand wedge. Actually, I'm going to do an approach wedge. I'm going to take a 3/4 swing with an approach wedge out of this lie. That's what we're going to do. So we're taking the approach wedge. We're going to do a 3/4 swing, and we're going to try to get it in the fairway into a position that we can score with. If I get it to this position, then I have the club that I need in my hand already. So this might be 2 approach wedges, banking on strategy, not just going for it for no reason. So gonna make a nice easy swing with this approach wedge, try to get it that 70 yards if possible. That's a great easy approach wedge on a great line. And we are down there, we got 100 yards. We got more than we wanted to, which is kind of ironic that I got that approach wedge that far. I just didn't seem like it penalized it that much. So we're at 77 yards. That's this same club, honestly, with that same type of swing, just maybe 3/4. 3/4 is what we're looking for. So we're trying to finish it off here, guys. We're trying to finish it off with a nice little chip into the green, into the gimme circle, hopefully. Nice little easy approach wedge. That's what we're looking for here. Not a full one, just past half or 3/4. That's about a half of an approach wedge. I'm happy with that. I am happy with that. Even though it's going to 2-putt me for a bogey, we're going to be at +8 as the finishing, I believe, because that's probably going to give me a bogey. Let's just see. Let's see what the finishing looks like. 79 +8. Let's view the scorecard. Yeah, so we shot 8 over. We shot basically our objective, which is +10 or under. I took 1 mulligan, so even if you gave me a stroke and I was +9, gave me 2, I'd still be +10 or under on my home course, which is Freeport Municipal, playing from the white tees. Didn't have to factor in or factor out the wind conditions, but I did have to play it like I would play it in real life. So thank you guys for watching that little playthrough. I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to turn back around and play one last final playthrough here today with the awesome golf. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.